I've included an accompanying article linked in the description below mentioning the devices and the instructions mentioned in this video. If you're interested, please consider visiting after the video is over. Thank you, and back to your regularly scheduled video. To install Ubuntu, really all you have to do is go to the Ubuntu website and then put the image onto a bootable flash drive using something like Rufus. From there, all you have to do is boot into the BIOS and select your boot drive. And how you boot into the BIOS is just by pressing enter. And then on ThinkPad, you can press F12 to choose a temporary startup device. Then it'll just have you select a few prompts, and from there, Ubuntu should be installed on your ThinkPad. Before we install Lineage OS, make sure you connect your phone to your wireless network at least once. Enable the developer options by pressing this button 5 times. From there, you'll want to click Enable Debugging and OEM Unlock. Download the ROM and the gaps that I have linked on my website, and then put that on a micro SD card, and then put that into your phone. And then going to the Sony website linked right here. From there, all you do is type in your IMEI. From there, it'll give you a code. On the laptop, type in sudo apt-get update, sudo apt install adb, and sudo apt install fastboot. From there, plug in your phone into your computer, and when you type in adb devices, something should show up, and make sure it says authorized, and then type in adb reboot bootloader, and then after a second you can type in fastboot devices, and something should show up right there, which means that your device is in fastboot mode. And then lastly, you type in fastboot OEM unlock, and then the code that the website gave you earlier, and if everything works out, it should unlock your bootloader. Finally, just type in fastboot reboot, and then voila, your bootloader is unlocked. So now we're going to go ahead and download this thing to the phone called Twerp, which is a custom recovery, and that'll allow us to install a custom ROM. Go ahead and navigate to this website that I have linked on the article, and then once that's downloaded in the console, you'll want to CD to your download folder, so type in CD downloads. Sorry, I forgot to record that command. And then I also forgot to record me typing in adb reboot bootloader, but you'll want to reboot into your boot mode again. And then from there, we'll type in fastboot flash recovery, and then twrp, and then you can press the tab key on your keyboard to complete the file name. And then to exit fastboot boot mode, we'll just type in fastboot reboot. Once your phone boots, you can just go ahead and turn it off again, and then I'm going to show you the special key binds in order to reboot into Twerp. All you do is just hold the power on button and the volume down button at the same time, and if everything worked, you should be in Twerp. Go ahead and acknowledge what it says, and then we're going to go ahead and click on wipe, and then we're going to click on install, and then you'll want to install Lineage. And then you'll want to install GApps. After that's done, you should just have Lineage. Voila. If your phone's data isn't working or your group messages aren't working, make sure you have your mobile network's APN added. And how you do that is specific to each network provider, so they should have those instructions on their website. So the most recent Nook update is super annoying and makes it so we can't access the development settings. So we're going to go ahead and downgrade the device to a version where we can do that. Go ahead and download the update.zip file that I have linked, and then we're going to go ahead and plug the Nook into the laptop, and then we'll just drag the update.zip onto the storage partition that shows up when you type in USB mode on the Nook. And then just unplug it, and then for me I had to wait like 30 seconds for it to start updating, but you don't have to do anything, just leave it and it should start auto updating. We're now going to go to the development options by pressing on the down tab, going to see all settings, and then the next page, and then about this device, and then just click on the top button like 5 times. And then we're going to go ahead and enable USB debugging. And while we're here, we'll want to select the USB configuration to MTP and that'll allow you to access all 32 gigabytes of the storage that the Nook offers. So now we're going to root the device, which will allow us to rebind the turn page keys on each side, and that way it'll work in other apps besides the stock Nook one. I forgot to show me downloading it, but you'll want to download the Magisk file that I have linked, and then we'll CD to downloads and then install that onto the device using adb install Magisk, and then you can just press tab to complete the file. You're also going to want to install a launcher so that we can access the Magisk app that we just installed. I'm going to go ahead and use unlauncher, which I also have linked, and you'll just install it the same way using adb install and then just com.jkuster and then just press tab. Remember that update.zip file that we downloaded earlier? We're going to go ahead and unzip it and then move the boot.image file onto the Nook. I personally just put it in the home folder, but it doesn't really matter where as long as you know where it is. And then from there, just reboot your device, and when it reboots, it'll give you an option to pick which launcher it wants to use, and we'll just click on unlauncher or just whatever launcher you installed. Open Magisk and follow the prompts. And then you can see it's not rooted because it doesn't have a version number next to on the top there. Go ahead and press install, and then go ahead and click next, and then on the selected file, go ahead and navigate to the file, the boot.image file that we put on the device just now. And then go ahead and press next, and then it should patch it so that we can flash it back onto the device. Now we're going to locate the file that Magisk made so that we can flash it from the computer, so go ahead and plug it back in. And then I had to do a little bit of hunting, but eventually I found it in the internal storage / download file folder. And now we're going to go ahead and type in adb reboot bootloader, and then on a Nook you can't really tell that it's in fastboot mode, but when you type in fastboot devices, something should show up, and yeah, that means we are good to go. Go ahead and type in fastboot flash boot and then the Magisk patched image. You can go and press tab, and if that works, I personally just go ahead and unplug it and then hold the power. I had to hold the power and the home button for kind of long, and then that's what finally got it out of fastboot mode. These devices are kind of finicky with fastboot mode, but yeah. Now when I open Magisk, you can see a version next to a number next to the version, which means that we are successfully rooted. I'm going to go ahead and install Root Explorer in order to edit a system file that contains the binds for the volume or the page turn keys on the side. So I'll just adb install it the same way we did for the other apps, and then in the Root Explorer, click on check root, and then that should give you root permissions on the app. And then I'm going to navigate to system and then user USR and then key layout and then vendor 001 product underscore 001.kt. And then you'll want to edit this file by first deleting the bottom 4 and then removing the hashtags in front of the other volume 191, 192, 193, 194, and then changing it to volume up, volume down, or anything you want, but that's what I found works the best in every app. And then click save, and then when you reboot your Nook, you should have volume page turn buttons, oh my god, I can't say that, in any app you want. And yeah, you're free to install any reader app that you want. I personally use Co-Reader. And yeah, thanks for watching.